how to make a fist and how to lock your wrist out to prevent a wrist injury. Because you see, well, I've seen many wrist injuries, many fist injuries as well, due to people not correctly forming the fist or locking out the wrist. And so this is one very crucial element in Okinawan Karate. So to make a fist, first with my students, I always have them, and I don't introduce how to make a fist right off the bat. I usually save that for like the second lesson, maybe the third lesson, because they're just trying to figure things out. I got them doing other movements. They're making their own fist. They're not hitting anything, so it doesn't matter. But I always circle back, and it's kind of like my own little Miyagi way. I circle back, and let's do something very basic. And they look at me kind of funny, and I said, let's look at how to make a fist. So that's what I want to share with you today. And so basically, and many people already know how. If you know how, what have you. But if you don't, or you're just a little curious, here you go. There are two different ways. So one, when you roll the fingers in, you can pull the thumb over the first two digits, the first two fingers, like so. And then you have just what we would call an old-fashioned fist, right? But if you look at my wrist right here, if I were to hit someone like this, there's a good chance I could strain or break something in the wrist. I could strain a ligament, or I could break my wrist, one of the bones, whether it's the radial or the ulna, which meets at the wrist joint. But in Okinawan Karate, you can still keep your fist like this if you want to. I'm going to show you the Okinawan fist in a moment. But either way, that fist needs to be locked out. And so the way to do that is the fist is kind of angled out right like so, so that now I have a straight line coming through the forearm, up through the wrist, up through these middle two knuckles, the main two knuckles, because that's what I'm going to be hitting with. I'm going to be punching with those first two knuckles only. So I'll lock the wrist out, right like that, and there again, there's no chance of breaking the wrist that way. Now, part B of the how to make a fist is the Okinawan fist. You do the same thing here, but the thumb is put right against that index finger like so. So now I'm squeezing this way. I've got force this way. I put the thumb there and I squeeze the thumb that way. Now this becomes more of just a mass, okay? Just a very destructive mass. The point is the same. I'm still going to punch with those first two knuckles. The wrist is locked out, okay? So the wrist is in Akiwara. There again, I want to make impact with just the first two knuckles. So you can see there, just in lining it up, right? Whatever. These two knuckles are not going to make impact. If I were to hit with those two, there's a good chance these bones, which are called metatarsals, those metatarsals could break. They're like teeny tiny toothpicks. And so we don't want to do that. So I'm hitting here, right like that with those first two knuckles. Now, let's also look at the Makiwara as just another form of a target. If I'm doing a back fist, I still want to hit with the back of those two knuckles. Okay? So just think, I'm going to do a back fist, and I'm going to hit someone, okay, with a back fist. If I hit somebody with the back of those two knuckles, which is, there again, that's what you're taught in old school Okinawan Karate. I'm not just hitting with the whole hand. But if you were to hit someone with those back of those two knuckles on the side of, say, their head, even anywhere on the face, but especially the side of the head, extremely painful, okay? So there again, in Okinawan Karate, in Shobukan Karate, the idea is to always aim with those back of those two knuckles, just like you're hitting with the Makiwara here, okay? On the back of those two knuckles. This is why you want to do your conditioning work with your knuckles and your fingers and so forth. If you can condition these these knuckles on the front and on the back side, you can have just that fist alone is a very, very powerful weapon. Just with the front of the two knuckles and the back of the two knuckles. But there again, when you make the fist, you just want to make sure the fist is locked out, right like so that these two knuckles are the ones that are making impact with your target. Right like so. there again, just a short little lesson.